Well, good day, everybody. Glad you could join me today. Today, I just wanted to talk a little bit about Khukuris, my Khukuris. I'm not going to go too much into history about the Khukuris. There's lots of YouTube channels out there that talk about the history, and you know what? It's basically, what can I say? Controversial whether or not this is true or that is true, or they got so many ideas and they talk about so many different things, but yet one will say something and then another group will say something else. Then when you go to Nepal and you visit all the makers there, they'll put in their ideas about certain aspects of the Kukri, but then when you go visit in the same city, the same country, or even a backyard farmer that's making the Kukris, they'll have a whole different other idea on how the Kukri came about and why it's made a certain way. Okay, so I'm not going to go through the history too much because it's just all over the place. There's no documentation, true documentation, even in the historical museums. So, you know what? I'm just going to talk about what I know, and I will talk a little bit about what other people are saying. I have no proof. I'm not an expert. I only got into Kukris basically a couple of years ago, and a good friend of mine in the US, he's the one that got me into Kukris. We made a trade for some work and for some leather work, and I didn't know, I knew about the Kukri. I never owned one, so I figured, you know what, let's make that trade. I want to see what the Kukri is all about. Since then, I now own 6. So let's take a look at them. First, I'm going to show you the one that Bob introduced me to, and he's also known as the Grizz. So let's take a look at the knife that started it all for me. There's the knife. This is a full tang. It's tapered. That is 3/8 thick, 10 millimeters. The handle itself is a healthy 4.5 inches. Beautiful full tang. The blade, 10 inches. That's high carbon, 5160 steel, made out of leaf springs. Hand forged, all hand forged in Nepal. Beautiful edge, nice belly. The end cap, beautiful knife. Okay, let's talk a little bit more about this. The sheath has a wooden insert covered in buffalo leather. This is known as a frog. Nice belt loop. So the sheath goes in the frog, slides up right to here, and you can wear that on the side of your belt. We're going to talk about these two little items a little later. 2 small little knives. This one here, which does not have an edge. It's blunt all the way around. No edge. One here, little utility knife, nice and sharp edge. We'll talk about them a little later. All right, so to talk about the Khukuris, a little bit of history. This one here, well, all of the ones I have come from Nepal. All right, doesn't come from India or anything like that. These here are all from Nepal. So you basically the Nepalese people in Nepal started construction of the Kukri probably around 17th century, mid-16th century, all the way up to today. Now they talk about the Kukri going all the way back to the 4th century, the 7th century, and talking about Alexander the Great, a Greek that used to carry with him a blade that was also shaped like a Kukri, and almost the same length as probably a 12-inch Kukri. So they're figuring that that's where the Nepalese people were inspired by that and started building their own Kukri when Alexander the Great came down from Greece to start conquering into Nepal and places like that. History, right? So then also you have the Karats that also from the 7th century, they also had a sword that was basically the same style, okay? So now you got the 4th century, now you're up to the 7th century with the Kukri style sword, all right? But history, a lot of history is missing, lack of documents. There are some photos, there are some paintings, but even through a lot of research, they can only go as far back as the traditional Kukri to the mid-1600s, all right, to today, as far as this style goes. So they talk a lot about it, but there's no actual proof on how far back it goes. They got pictures, and that's about it. So the Kukri became famous by the Nepalese people. It all started back in like 1814 to 1816 with the fight between the Anglo and the Gorkhas, where the British were also involved coming in, and that's when the Kukri became recognized. The Gorkha armies had all their military personnel equipped with the Kukri. And believe me, a lot of other military people, they were pretty scared of the Gorkha people. Even though they were a small person, they had a big knife, they knew how to use it, they trained every day with the Kukris. Every day they trained how to fight, how to use it, how to defend themselves. It was basically watching them would be like watching a Bruce Lee movie, you know, and how they trained. Time after time after time, that's all they would do is train using these Kukris for self-defense, military aspects, right? But you know something? Yes, that was used in the military quite a bit. But it's the people of Nepal that use this as an everyday tool. They never fought in the war. They were never part of the military, but yet they all had one. Every household has one. They used it in the garden. They used that for digging. They used that for cutting. Whenever they were butchering, they used that. Everyday life, they used the kukri. If you go and check out all the videos and watch how kukris are made, and watch when they're talking about the construction, and then you see where they're showing videos of the town or videos of the farmland, you'll see them using it. You'll see you'll see the makers of this knife using the kukri to carve out the handles. They'll just sit there, put it on a block of wood. This is just a square block of rosewood, okay? Then they'll take another kukri and they'll just start chipping on the rosewood and cutting it away. And in no time flat, look at that. That was probably chipped and cut with a kukri. Then sanded on a sanding wheel. All right? So there's all kinds of different kukris, eh? Like I showed you, full tank, right? So I got a full tank. We'll put that aside. This one here, okay, was also given to me. This one here comes from Nepal, 2006. But if you notice, it's not a full tank, right? But if you look at the end, you can see right here it's pinged. So this one here is a rat tail. Okay? This is also a 10-inch blade. But if you look at both of them together, you can see the difference in the belly and the style of the knife. Both 10-inch. Okay? Very nice knives. This was my fourth one that was given to me. This was my first. They also have partial tangs. It's only about, let's say, 3.5 inches long, 4 inches long. And it's like a triangle, tapered triangle, that just goes into the handle about this far. And what they used to do is heat it up cherry red, grab the wood, or a lot of times they're using buffalo horn and stuff like this. This here, you can get in buffalo horn, okay? So now they heat up the tang as red as they can, and they push it in, and they push it on until it burns its way in through the wood or through the buffalo horn. Then they'll pull it out, they'll fill it with glue, and they'll push it all back in again and let it sit. They've been doing that since the 1700s, and still today people have them kukris in their private collection totally intact. The glue totally intact. Yes, some of the handles, okay, some of the handles might have cracks in them, but you know what, that's because of age, right? Mostly because of age. And they were also in the military, so who knows, they were probably using it as a baton or cracking nuts or anything else. But them handles are still intact today, a couple hundred years later. So anyways, Grizz, you know what? Thanks for introducing me to this knife. I appreciate it so much. All right, so now very okay, let me just grab this knife here again. This part right here. Okay, right there. an old wives' tale, an old Nepalese tale that has no proof, is they said that that's put there for the simple reason is in combat, when you used to take this knife, defend yourself, and draw blood, that when you're fighting with this knife, the blood would come down the blade, reach the cho right here, and just drip off. Well, again, a lot of people talk about it. Zero proof. Nothing in writing. Nothing at all. Zero proof that that's actually what it's for. Now, also for the, I would say if you're talking religious, they're saying that this here, okay, is from the goddess Shiva, and that's what they say the tro is for, but again, no real proof, right? When you go back in history, and you got archaeologists and you got all kinds of people giving their opinions, and they find items, dig up items, and they're not quite sure on what it represents, what it stands for, they always turn to like goddesses, and they turn to religions, they turn to all kinds like this, because they can't really answer why it's there and what it's for, because it's lost in history. There's no proof. And it's too bad, because whether you're going into the States, or if you're going into Britain or Canada, or if you're going to Asia, or you're going right into Nepal itself, everybody tells their own story, and it's all different on what it's for. Okay, so going into the history of it, it's all over the place. There's no proof of anything. But what I can tell you is that basically, when the Gorkha was using these knives in the war of 1814, 1816, everybody was feared. Nobody wanted to encounter them people. When they came marching in, they turned heads, and they removed them with this blade right here. The Crown, the British, they tried to defeat them. They couldn't. They were just too strong. When you have a people that are so passionate about their land and their way of living, they fight to the death. There's no doubt about it. They would rather die than be considered a coward, or to have somebody take them over. So they fight to the death. The British, no matter how big their armies were, they just couldn't conquer them, right? So, like it's written, rather than conquering them, they work with them. And they were feared, okay? The Gorkha army, they were feared. So the Britons basically hired the Gorkhas to work with their armies. And like everyone else says, hey, if you can't beat them, join them. And that's what they did. So the Royal Seal, the British, ended up taking the Nepalese army, and together they formed an alliance whenever they're needed. Still today it's like that, and they're being paid like that. So now even the British, their militaries, World War I, World War II, and stuff like that, that's what they used to use also with the Gorkhas. They were all given a personal Kukri. That is a blade. I love it. I like it. She chops, she's heavy, she cuts, she's sharp. Hey, If that's been around since the 16th century, and you still got it today in the 21st century, that's already established. Okay? That's a beautiful blade, beautiful knife. If you want to process wood, that's a chopper right there. If you want to do fine tasks, right here, you can do fine tasks. Okay? You can carve, you can do feathers, you can do whatever you want. Anything. Okay? Very, very easy to process wood and to do your fine carving. All right? So, when they say you can't do small tasks with that, yes you can. Do heavy chopping, then you strike it right here, okay? That is where you're going to do a lot of your work right there. So what the Gurkhas used to do is they used to swing their knives in combat, strike here, and then draw it this way, right? So you strike there, you cut the depth, and then when you scoop it, you slit it. Small tasks right here, chopping in the sweet spot here, and then if you're butchering animals and you're you know, taking their head off and getting ready, you chop it here and you slice it this way, or you do your fine task this way. Beautiful blade, nice work. So I hope most of that was in shot. So anyways, so now the British Army has that, right? So when the Gurkhas were kind of fighting with India and stuff like this, even the people there recognize the Kukri. And they introduced that to their military as well. And they started to forge their own also in mass production. But all the ones that I have come from Nepal. I don't have any from India. They come in various size. They come into 5-inch all the way up to like sword-like, you know what I mean? 30, 36 inches of blade. Unbelievable. You have okay, you have different styles, which this one here is also from Nepal. Okay, this one here, you can see the fuller here. All right, that's a nice knife right there. That's an Iraq style handle. That's what you call an Iraq style handle. Also full tang, tapered. That one there is not 10 mil, but that's 8 mil. Very nice blade. 6-inch. Now that is a sweet bushcraft knife if you want to use that as a bushcraft knife. You can do a lot of small tasks with that. It's only a small blade, little 6-inch blade, and man, is that ever sharp. Very, very, very sharp. Beautiful knife. So, Grizz introduced to me this one, 10-inch blade, and now I got this one with the 6-inch blade. Love them. Great blades. Again, Scarber's the same with the frog. You still have these two little blades. This one's a nice small one. Whoops. Okay. That's blunt. And this one's a small little utility one that's sharp. Every kukri that you purchase will come with these two blades. All right. So, in doing so, and checking things out, and doing some research, I picked myself up a couple of 8-inch from Nepal. Now that's a nice knife. 8-inch blade. Still, this one here is 5/16. Very thick, very sharp knife. Six-inch, 8-inch. Six-inch, 8-inch, 10-inch. Right there. It's hard to get it all in, but there it is. 10 on the bottom, 8 in the middle, 6 on top. Again, another 8-inch from Nepal. If you notice, this is different here. It's not the same as the other one down here. But if you go in history, as back as the 17th century, World War I, World War II, you'll see both this style and this style. This is not new. Just a different style that dates right back to the 18th century. 2 8-inch. That style of handle, and then that style of handle. Grips in the hand nice. This one here, the way they got it designed here, when it's in between these two fingers and you're gripping that, and the way the back of the pommel is, the way it's shaped, you're locked in there. Your hand's not moving forward or backwards when you strike something. You are locked tight right in there because of that design. Boom, right there, locked. And then because of this, between these two fingers, that's it, locked in. This one here, you're locked in with the style of the handle, right here. This finger, hold it around. Back here, again, you're not going to slip out because of the design. You're locked in. Now this one, I had to do some work with, because this here was a little sharp, especially down here. Okay, it came to more of a point, and same as up here. So all I did is I took a file, I rounded it off here, rounded it quite a bit off the bottom. Now there's no sharp spots. So I can use that, and I don't have to worry about anything catching my skin or whatever. I had to do some work on the two tips. No big deal, little file work. Took only a couple of minutes. Okay, you can see the pins in this one. Again, full tang, tapered. It's great in the hand. Beautiful, beautiful little 8-inch. I got a 6-inch, 2 8s, and 2 10s. All right. So now, different types of handles. Rosewood. Very nice rosewood. This is also rosewood. Okay. have buffalo horn, which is very nice. I have knives in my personal collection that have buffalo horn scales. I like it. Shrinkage, got no problems. Cracks, I have no problems. So it works. Now they come out even, you can even get them now with micarta handles. I don't have any with micarta handles, but everyone that knows what micarta is, that's an aggressive handle, and you're not going to slip with that. That's nice material. So what do? How do you maintain it? How do you sharpen it in the field? What do you need to take care of your blade? Things happen. You've got to be able to take care of your blade in the field. Very small, I got a very small, okay, 6-inch file, a bastard file, medium cut, all right. I have another one with the handle on it. Again, both of them are 6-inch. I like the little handle, but for saving space, I don't mind throwing that in my pack either. Wrap this end in a cloth, throw it in the bottom of my bag, and that's how you do it. So, you take your blade, okay, now that you got your blade, you're running it on the same angle that you got here. It's almost, it's the cut here is kind of like convexed, okay, because it's so fat here. Tapers a little bit here, but that's more or less like a convex edge. So when you're taking your file, and you just try to follow the same like a micro bevel, okay? So you just take your file, you go to the tip, and you keep on going. Then you turn it over, then you do the same to the other side. All right. Now, don't be aggressive. Don't put no force in it. Just the weight of the tool. Okay, just the weight of the tool, and then just put your finger on it. Follow the contour. So you start in here and you go around the tip. Here and then around the tip. Then you come back here and you do the same this way. Okay. Now, once you do that, you're gonna get rid of all your big chips or whatnot. Okay, once you got rid of all your chips and everything looks good, then you can grab your diamond file, fine, medium, coarse, whatever one you have. Myself, I got this one. Nice little brass handle. Spin it off. There it is. Okay, that's a diamond. You just turn it around, screw it back in the handle, and now you got this. So again, you take your blade, okay, now you're gonna hone that a little bit more. So you hone. Now you're taking off the burrs with the diamond rod. Nice and light, doesn't have to be aggressive, and you just go across the blade. When you come here, you do the same thing. Very easy to maintain these in the bush. All these here Kukuris that I have, spring steel, high carbon, 5160. Very easy to maintain, very nice blade. Okay, so now that we talked about that, these two little knives, okay? You got the one that's blunt and the one that's sharp. The one that's sharp is a utility knife, very small little utility knife. You can do fine carving with that, okay? Do your fine work. All right, very easy to do that. Very easy to feather stick with that. Very small little utility knife. You can keep that razor sharp. This one here is blunt. Well, both these here knives were made out of the exact same steel as this 5160. All right, except for the one that's blunt is heat treated a little harder. So this steel is actually harder than the steel here. So now this one here is called the Chesmuck. Okay, that's the Chesmuck. Now you're in the field, you got these two knives in your sheath, you can take out the Chesmuck, and because it's harder steel than the way this was heat treated, you use this to hone your blade. If you got a little burr or anything like this, you can use this to give it a sharpen, and you just run it across your blade. Okay, same thing, turn it around, grab your blade, you grab this, and you're honing it. Basically that's all you're doing is honing it. So if you use your bastard file, give it a nice sharpen all the way around, and you'll get a little bit of an edge. Then you can grab your Chesmuck and you can take that edge off. Just run it right along the edge, turn it around, take off that burr, polishing your edge, cleaning it up, and then you got a very, very nice sharp tool. All right, that's the one that's blunt, the Chesmuck. Okay, this one is sharp. Okay, that one there is called the Carta. Small little utility knife. Very nice to have. Now, every sheath has the two of them. Okay, every one has the two of them. A lot of people will take these two blades and throw it in their top drawer and forget about them for the rest of their life. 90% of the people don't like these knives or these blades. They figure it's useless, right? So they'll just throw that in their top drawer, and that's fine, because the little utility knife, well, I got a neck knife. I got like a BK11 that I'll use. And I got a lot more different styles, but just to give you an idea, a reference, to me, my small knife to go with this would be a BK11. Honing and sharpening would be my bastard file and my diamond rod. That's how I'll maintain the tools in the field when it comes to my Kukris. So again, there's a few companies out there that are well established in forging, handmade forging. I'm telling you, type in forging a Kukri and go watch some of them videos. Unbelievable. Watching them sit on the floor with their legs crossed and their feet holding an anvil block, a small round anvil block, and while they got a piece of a leaf spring and a mallet in this hand, they put it in the fire, they heat it up, they put it back on that little anvil plate, and they got their mallet, and they're just beating away on it. Then once they start forming everything, then they have one or maybe two guys working with them. So the builder will be putting it in in the flames, heating it up cherry red, again putting it on that small block, okay, of hardened steel, laying their leaf spring on top, and then the assistants with like sledgehammers, two of them are taking their turns whacking this. And as they're whacking it and whacking it, they start to form the curve, okay? Because the builder itself, he'll manipulate where he puts the blade, and as they're hitting it, that's how you get the bend, that's how you get your taper, that's how you get your edge, and that's how you get this here. It's amazing watching them work. I've watched, oh, I don't know, 80, 90, 100 videos on how a kukri is made, and it just blows me away, the amount of work that goes into that. So don't be shy, go check them out. So right now it's very windy. Again, 5160 steel, tapered 3/8, 10 mil. So I figured I have a 6-inch, 2/8, 2/10s, but I wanted another one. And I know when I'm talking to the Grizz, Bob, and a few of other people and all this, they really gravitate to a 10-inch, which is very heavy, very meaty, very nice, handles great. But I want to show you something that I have not even opened yet, and I've had it for a little while, and we're going to just take a look at it now, and that's this one here. I just took it out of the box. I unwrapped the paperwork, but this comes from the ex-Gorkha. That's the ex-Gorkha house in Nepal. That's a special order that I ordered. It didn't take too long to get it either. Again, wooden. It's got a different type of frog. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Look at that handle. Beautiful rosewood. Like, this leather is going to come off, but look at that. So let's take it out and let's take a look at it. Well, these are a lot bigger. There's no doubt about that. Kazmak? Karda. Big difference. Let's take a look at the other one. Okay, these two are the same. There's a difference. This is in my 10-inch blade. This is in the other blade that I have. Nice difference. So, again, but boy, oh boy, when I seen this one, I fell in love with this one. So let's take a look at this. This is all the way from Nepal. They got it wrapped in like a saran wrap. Lots of oil on it. So I'm liking that. Lots of oil on that. Let me give it a second. I got to go get a piece of wood to throw on here because it's very windy. And a little tea break. Ex-Gorkha. That's the ex-Gorkha house in Nepal. There's the handle. Again, tapered. Full tang. Check out that. Again, that's 3/8, 10 millimeter thick. 1, 2, 3 fullers. This one here has 3 fullers. That is beautiful right there. This one here is a 12-inch blade. This one weighs 900 grams. It's got some heft to it. But I'll tell you, I'm liking it. Look at the size of that. That's nice. Look at my finger. Check out the fullers. Why they do this, okay? This one here, when it's designed with all the fullers like this, is when you're using this knife and you're doing heavy work with it and heavy chopping or anything like this, and you're totally putting everything you can give behind this knife, creates a lot of vibrations when you strike something, okay? When you strike something, it creates a lot of vibrations. Well, through a lot of testing, yes, for design, it looks beautiful for design, but then when you're striking everything, and it's coming up with the vibrations, and as it's coming up over the fuller, it gets weaker and weaker and weaker. So when you strike it here, you got a heavy vibe, but as it comes through the blade, it dissipates. So you won't break your knife. You won't feel the heavy vibrations when you're using it. But check out that blade. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, this one here, when you want to buy it, it's called the Beast. And there's a reason for it. Look at that. It's a 12-inch blade, nicknamed the Beast. You can have it with the 3 fullers. You can have it with 5, 7, but the one with 3 fullers is nicknamed the Beast. Very nice blade. I just opened it. This is the first time looking at it. I cannot wait to give that a go. Man, that's got some heft to it. That's got some weight. That is going to chop some wood. So let's take a look at my 10-inch. There's my 10. I'm going to have to back up for this, but there's my 10-inch. Okay. There's my 12. Yeah, I'll put it the same here. There's the difference. Tip to tip. Butt to butt. Look at that. This is close and dear to my heart because of where it came from. A good friend. I love this. This is dear to my heart. And I'm liking this. The Beast. Can't wait to use that. My next video, I think I'm going to beat some wood with that. That tree that that tree that I had to take down the other day, I kept the piece. It's probably 4 inches in diameter, 5 feet long. I'm going to beat some wood with that. I just got to clean it up, get all the oil off it. So with that, that's a nice blade right there. That's called the Beast. All right, so you got different makers, right? You got the Gorka, you got the GK company, the Kukri house, you got Torah, you got Kalish. They're all out of Nepal, okay? They all make blades. There's a lot more than that. You got even private builders that sell their knives also. But these here are at the top. Torah, right up there. A lot of people really like dealing with the Torah. Gorka, GK company, they're all good. You can get them online. This one here, 12 inches, the Beast, What did I pay? Knife alone, I think was $140. Yeah, I think it was $140. The Beast and my little 6-incher. So there you go. But with any of these knives, like if I'm carrying something like this, maybe I'd carry a small 4-inch blade, 4.5-inch blade with it, a PK16 or something like that, anything like 4 inches. So if you got something like this, don't need an axe. Silky saw. So you got your silky saw, you're going to cut your tree down, cut it into manageable sizes, and you can use this and baton it, split your wood, and then use a small 4-inch, 4.5-inch blade to do all your fine tasks. This one here, doing fine tasks, you could do it, but she's heavy, right? But you can give it a shot. It'll do it. Just got to have your edge right here. But ain't that a freaking nice knife right there? Check that out. I love it. Can't wait to use it. Wait for the bike to go by. So again, 3 Chiras, Fullers, same thing. They're not blood grooves. They're for vibration, to spread the vibration out through the blade so you don't damage your blade. The Cho, decorative. Maybe one day they'll find out why it's really there and what it's really for, but people right now can only assume because there's no real written documents other than the documents that people like us are writing, right? Like there's books written in late 50s, early 60s and stuff like this, but they're assuming also, right? They don't really know. So anyways, as far as Kukuris go, I really like using them. I've used this one here, as you can see. This is my little 6-inch. I use that son of a gun lots. I love using this thing. Okay, you put that in your sheath, and look how your hand fits, eh? Here, let me just put this down. Okay, again, from here to here, grab your hand, lay it right here. Look at that. Bang, you're locked. You're locked in there. Okay, my mitts right across. Okay, right across my hand from outside to here. Outside right there is probably almost 4.5 inches from across here to across here. That fits in there pretty good. All right, that's why I use it a lot. It feels great. It feels excellent. So again, maintaining the tools, the Kukuris, no big deal. You got yourself a nice little bastard file. You can hone it with the tools that come with your Kukri, right? So if you got a bastard file, one of these, you can take care of your blade very easy in the field. So, I got another knife. I just got it yesterday. Pretty excited about it. It's not a Kukri. Not at all. But it's nice. Has the same type of shape as a Kukri. This builder is He's a knife maker in the States. I'm going to do a private video, or a different video, just with this knife, but I just wanted to give you a sneak peek. So, again, 8-inch Kukri. Check this bad boy out. I just got that. It's when I seen this one here, I seen a picture of it. Well, as soon as I seen the picture of it, I contacted the knife maker and I asked him to make me one. He said, sure. He told me it'd be about a week or so by the time he gets it together. But again, very high carbon steel. This one here has a beautiful convex edge. Check that out. All hand forged. There's his maker's mark. Now, all the brass work right there. All the brass work, the pommel. He hand casts that with every knife. It's all hand casts. Real stag antler handles. And I'm telling you, my big mitts, when I wrap around that, that feels good. That grip's nice. But look at the shape of that. Kukri style. I don't know what he calls it. Doesn't matter. It's what I like right there, and that's what that's what I gravitated to. Okay. Now that blade here is a 7-inch blade. .3/16 full tang. 100% handmade. Even casting his own brass work. Can't wait to try that one out. So, if I take this one, that's my 8-inch, and there's my 7-inch. A little bit of a difference. Big sweep of a belly. But I'll tell you, that's a nice blade right there. Again, as far as the history goes, there's lots of channels out there. You can Google that yourself. It's interesting because there's no real true facts. I know there's a lot of collectors out there that they'll show you their collection. It'll go back to, like I said, late 1600s, 1700s, 1800s. They'll show you all them, and they're beautiful looking, but there's no true documents on where it all started. They're just surmising by pictures they've seen of Alexander the Great, his sword, or stuff like this from the 4th century, 7th century. But hey, who knows? That could be where it all started from, and then through evolution, they come out with the beast. What a knife! So. Can you survive with this blade? If the shit hits the fan and you just grab this and a few other implements and you head it out, can you survive with just this? Think about that. This is my 10-inch. Okay? Comes with my little utility blade. Okay. And then it also comes with the one right here for honing, so I can maintain my blade with that. So what do you think? Think you could survive with just this? If that's all you had, for some reason. Maybe go see Alan Kay's videos. Why Alan Kay? Well, hey, he set history. He went on alone, season 1, and he won everything, and he survived with a Kukri type blade. Okay? He had no problem. You should see what he's done on alone, season 1, with that knife. Well, hey, he won the show. Did he survive? Yeah, he survived. He done all kinds of things with that knife. So it goes to show you, it's not always about the size, it's about the knowledge, how to use it, what parts of the blades can do what. And yes, if that's all you had, I'd have no problems in the bush with that. You could chop with that all day long, and you can do fine tasks with that all day long. All right? Thanks for joining me today. I'd like to say this was a nice short video, but sometimes I get a little long-winded. The beast, the Kukri. Upcoming video. 12-inch, 6-inch, 14-inch, 18-inch, 20-inch, 30-inch. You can have whatever you want. The smallest one I've seen so far is actually a 5-inch. I was looking at the 5-inch. They were out of stock at the time, so I bought this one. I like it. Until next time, I'll see you guys in the woods. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, hit the bell, and take care, guys. Thanks for coming by. Bye now. One more thing, safety. Always got to have a little bit of safety in your videos. Kukri, your sheath. Okay? Everybody has a tendency to grasp their sheath like this. Please, please, if you're going to draw or insert your blade, do not hold your sheath like this. Please do not. Okay? Now, you want to draw your blade, use the pinch, lobster pinch. Okay, I guess that's what that is. Use the lobster claw pinch. Hold your knife like this. See, I'm not underneath here. And just put your thumb here, draw out your nig. Okay, now you're going to insert your blade. Again, use the pinch method. Put your blade here, okay, up, insert it. So, if something happens, the edge of your blade's here, if you have your fingers like this and you go to draw that out and it cuts, because the wood is not right around. The wood, just 2 pieces of wood glued like this, covered in leather. Who says that that edge here ain't going to come through the 2 pieces of wood that's only glued together and covered in leather? Who says that that's not going to turn around and come through like this? If this, when you go to draw out your knife and it comes out like this when you're pulling it out, oh my good Lord, you're going to the hospital. All right, pinch it, lobster claw, push it to the top, and then insert it. When you want to take it out, push the spine up, draw out your knife, up, draw it out. Okay, in, same thing, draw it out. So when you put it in, there. Now, see, this is loose, right? If you take your blade, see how loose that is? You could draw it. But if you take it and push it to the bottom, look. Okay, I'll push it to the top, like it comes off, right? But see, the way it's designed, brilliant design, tapered, you lock your blade, you put it in, push it to the bottom, Whoops. There, push it to the bottom. See on top here? No rattle. It's locked in there. I wouldn't do that any other way, but so when you want to take it out, grip it this way, push it up, draw it out. Push it in, push it down, lock her in place. Later, guys. Bye now. Next video.